Lose yourself in a good book. The Board Gosh Energy Book Club.
Now, last week we celebrated the enduring popularity of Jane Austen's Pride and Prejudice, which we've chosen as our book of the month for February to mark the bicentenary of its publication.
And with the month that is in it, today Bob Johnston joins us to talk about the part that romance has to play in the book and why we continue to enjoy a good old-fashioned love story 2 centuries on. Bob, good morning to you.
Good morning to you. Yes, we're getting in a romantic mood this morning, aren't we? We're full of love.
Good, we're feeling the love and sharing the love.
On this cold day.
And
I don't know whether to take you seriously when you talk.
It is remarkable that all of these years later, we're still reading a book about love. That hasn't changed at all and hasn't dated that much, I don't feel.
No, 200 years on, you know, and we're still talking about Darcy and Elizabeth and their love match and will they, won't they, and all of that. And it is amazing how long it's endured. I mean, I think the skill of the writing does it. You know, Jane Austen was a very skillful writer. And I have to be honest, we're reading it this month for book club. I actually only started a couple of days ago, so I'm halfway through. And it's been about 10 years since I read Pride and Prejudice. And do you know what? It's great. It's really good fun.
I didn't think you'd like it.
I know. And I know we were talking, you know, last week you were talking and saying, it's not a man's book, is it really?
I don't think many boys out there or men will have read Austen.
But I think, no, and they won't, and they should.
To their detriment.
You know, to their detriment.
Yeah.
I think it goes like, oh, it's just wishy-washy romance, oh, she loves him, But actually, Jane Austen is incredibly witty and
she's
clever.
very funny.
And she's actually very good at satirising the society that she lived in and the one that she's talking about. And she's also very astute at her observations on character, and I think that's actually what's made it endure over the years. So I would encourage everybody to read it, and I do think people get put off, oh God, 200 years, you know, it's going to be written in some stupid language that I can't understand, and I'm not going to enjoy it, it's going to be like hard work, and I'm going to feel like I'm back at school. But it's not. You go along with it, you get caught up in the characters' lives, and it's just great fun. And it's very funny.
It is very funny. You will find yourself laughing out loud. For those who aren't familiar with the story, because people mightn't have seen the movies, perhaps, and they mightn't be familiar, just give us a little kind of précis of the story.
Yeah, well, I was thinking, actually, what we'll do is we'll read the first sentence of the book, get people started.
Good
and
man,
actually,
Bob.
it gives you a good flavour for it.
It does.
But it also introduces the themes, shall we say. So here we go. It is a truth universally acknowledged that a single man in possession of a good fortune must be in want of a wife. So, however
whether he likes it or not.
Exactly. However little known the feelings or views of such a man may be on his first entering a neighbourhood, this truth is so well fixed in the minds of the surrounding families that he is considered as the rightful property of some one or other of their daughters. I mean, really, you could see where Jane Austen's coming from. I mean, she's such a good observer, but she's also got that real satirical edge.
Now, when it comes to the main characters in as well, obviously we've got Darcy, but we've got the mother of the sisters, what's her name? Mrs. Bennet.
Mrs. Bennet,
She looms large in her kind of crazy crackpot shenanigans.
Actually, Mr. and Mrs. Bennet are great foils for each other. So you're looking at the parents of the 5 daughters that need to be married off one way or another. Mrs. Bennet is the conniving, plotting, has to work out everything. Mr. Bennet is this cool, laid back, you know. And there's this great line in it, I think, where Mrs. Bennet says something like, you know, oh, Mr. Bennet, you are playing on my nerves. And he says, you know, they're like old friends to me. I feel like I've known them for 20 years. You know, there's just this great repartee before them. So Mrs. Bennet gets herself worked up into this tiz, you know, about everything. And Mr. Bennet just cleverly behind the scenes, you know, introduces the people and gets things moving. So, again, just great characters, you know? And, again, another reason why people just enjoy it so much. She's got this great range of characters.
There is sadness as well, though, because you see, you know, a young girl, essentially, who kind of falls foul of society, and she's just left by the wayside. She's, you know, left there and everyone ignores her, and because she doesn't... That's what Austen sets out, the rules of love back then.
Yeah.
These are the rules, and you must follow them. If you don't follow them, you're just dumped to one side and off you go.
It's true, but what really interests me about Austen is by writing those things, She's subverting them, isn't
yes,
she?
You're right.
She's
She is.
criticising
Yes,
them.
she is,
And this is something that really stands out for me with Jane Austen, is by introducing these things, is especially about what people can say to each other and the way they behave with each other. And I think we all, you know, expect Austen is all about these polite ladies saying polite things to gentlemen, and then underneath there's all this raft of feeling and all this other stuff going on, this passion. And I think by writing these scenes into the book, what Jane Austen is actually saying is, this is wrong. This isn't the way
that a woman should be defined in society by who her male partner is and by how much money he has.
And, you know,
but that women shouldn't be seen as property. She's very overtly critical of that whole notion.
No, and again, I think this was one that stood out for me.
Yeah.
Mr. Bennet's property consisted almost entirely of an estate of £2,000 a year, which, unfortunately for his daughters, was entailed in default to heirs male on a distant relation. Which we all know. So if you know, when Mr. Bennet dies, his 5 daughters don't get anything. Get married. It all goes off to their distant cousin because he's a man.
So they have to get married and have sons as quickly as possible.
They have to get the money, exactly, in order to provide an heir. But by writing that, what Jane Austen is saying, this is wrong. Yeah. This isn't the way it should be.
Which was pretty revolutionary for the time she wrote it.
Very good and very clever, and I think it just shows the intelligence behind these books.
There we go. I can't wait to read it again. I haven't read it for about,
no, I'm enjoying it,
about 10
and
years.
I would urge people to pick it up and give it a good go. Yeah.
Wear your velvet jacket, you could do a nice impression of Darcy.
That's it. I need big sideburns, don't I? Big, big.
You need the white fluffy shirt.
Cheers, Bob. Thank you. Now, as we've been discussing, Pride and Prejudice by Jane Austen is the Bord Gáis Energy Book Club choice for February. If you would like to be in with the chance of winning a stylish BlackBerry playbook, then simply send in your review to us here on Ireland AM.
Reviews should be no longer than just 50 words and should reach us by Friday, February the 22nd. They should be emailed to irelandam@tv3.ie or sent by post to Bord Gáis Energy Book Club, TV3, Westgate Business Park, Ballymount, Dublin 24. You can also enter through our website, tv3.ie/book club.
Lose yourself in a good book. The Bord Gáis Energy Book Club.